Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. This training is especially valuable for anyone working in quality control, production, or compliance within the textile and garments industry. In this session, we'll explore the key lessons. 1. Introduction to ISO 9001-2015. 2. Understanding quality management systems. 3. The 7 quality management principles. 4. Context of the organization. 5. Leadership. 6. Planning. 7. Support. 8. Operation. 9. Performance evaluation. 10. Improvement. 11. Implementing ISO 9001-2015 in a factory. By the end of this program, you'll have a clear understanding of what ISO 9001-2015 is, how it works, and why it's so important in the garment and textile sector. So, let's get started and begin our journey toward quality excellence. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll begin with Lesson 1, Introduction to ISO 9001-2015. This lesson is especially important for anyone involved in quality control, production, or compliance within the textile and garments industry. Let's begin by looking at what you'll learn today. You will learn the fundamentals of ISO 9001-2015, including what ISO 9001-2015 is and why it matters, its relevance in textile and garment production, the key features that define the standard, simple definitions to help you understand common terms, and best practices for implementation in your factory. By the end of this session, you'll have a strong foundation in ISO 9001-2015 and how it supports quality in your daily work. So, what exactly is ISO 9001-2015? It's an international standard for quality management systems, also known as QMS. This standard helps organizations ensure they consistently meet customer requirements and continuously improve product and service quality. It was published by the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, which develops global standards to support safety, efficiency, and quality across industries. Why is ISO 9001 so important in our industry? Because it helps us produce consistent, high-quality garments, reduces waste, mistakes, and costly rework, builds buyer trust and encourages repeat business, ensures compliance with export and buyer requirements, and most importantly, it supports a culture of continuous improvement inside the factory. This makes ISO 9001 not just a certificate, but a competitive advantage. Let's look at some key features of ISO 9001-2015. It's applicable to any size of organization from small workshops to large export factories. It encourages a process approach, which means focusing on how work is done, not just the end result. It promotes risk-based thinking to help us identify and fix issues before they affect quality. There's a strong customer focus. Everything is designed to improve customer satisfaction. And it emphasizes continual improvement, meaning we should always look for ways to get better. Here are a few simple definitions you'll come across often. QMS, a structured system to manage and improve quality. Non-conformance, when a process or product doesn't meet the set requirement. Audit, a review to see if systems are working as planned. Corrective action, the steps we take to fix a problem and stop it from happening again. Understanding these terms will help you follow the ISO process more easily. Let's go over a few best practices when applying ISO 9001 in garments. Make sure all staff receive basic training on quality expectations. Keep procedures simple, visual, and accessible. For example, using posters on the sewing line. And remember, ISO is not just for certification, it's a tool to improve processes and reduce errors in your factory. Summary of Lesson 1. ISO 9001-2015 is an international quality management standard. It's essential for creating consistent, high-quality garments. The system helps bring discipline and structure into your daily factory operations. And it focuses on customer satisfaction, risk management, and continual improvement. This knowledge sets the foundation for more detailed learning in the next sessions. We hope this session gave you a clear understanding of what ISO 9001-2015 is and why it matters, especially in the garment and textile sector. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss future lessons. See you in Lesson 2. Understanding Quality Management Systems. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll begin with Lesson 2, Understanding Quality Management Systems, also known as QMS. Let's dive into what QMS means, why it's important, and how it helps organizations. In this video, you will learn what is a quality management system or QMS, the key components of a QMS, simple and easy to understand definitions, the benefits of using a QMS, and finally, best practices for effective implementation. This lesson is designed to be simple, visual, and relevant to your daily work. What exactly is a quality management system? A QMS is a structured set of policies, processes, and procedures. It helps an organization plan, control, and improve how it produces products and delivers services. It ensures that customer requirements and regulatory standards are met consistently. Let's look at the key components of a QMS, along with examples relevant to garment manufacturing. Policies describe the company's quality goals, like, we aim to produce zero-defect garments. Procedures are step-by-step instructions, such as an SOP for operating a stitching machine. Records are documents that prove work was done properly, like a fabric inspection report. Responsibilities define who does what, like a line supervisor checking quality at each stage. Each of these plays a critical role in building a reliable QMS. Here are some simple terms you'll often hear. A process is a set of activities that turns inputs into outputs. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure, a guide on how to do a task correctly. A quality policy is a statement showing your company's commitment to quality. A record is documented proof, like a quality check sheet, that something was done. Understanding these terms makes it easier to follow and apply QMS principles. Using a QMS has many benefits, such as fewer defects and customer complaints, better efficiency in operations, reduced waste and cost, increased confidence from buyers and clients, and improved internal communication across teams. It's not just about documentation, it's about better performance and quality. To get the most out of your QMS, follow these best practices. Keep SOPs short and use pictures and diagrams when possible. Regularly review and update your quality procedures. Involve all staff in quality meetings and improvement activities. Encourage open communication. Let people report issues without fear. These simple steps can make a big difference in your factory's performance. Summary of Lesson 2. A QMS is how a factory manages and controls quality. It includes policies, procedures, and records. It helps in reducing defects, improving training, and building trust. All parts of a garment process should be part of the QMS. We hope this session gave you a clear understanding of quality management systems. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss our future lessons. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in Lesson 3, the 7 Quality Management Principles. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll cover Lesson 3, the 7 Quality Management Principles. These are the foundation of any strong quality system, and we'll see how they apply to garment manufacturing. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to understand what quality management principles are. Learn what each of the 7 principles means. Remember simple definitions of key terms. See how these principles help us improve garment manufacturing. And finally, review some best practices you can apply in your daily work. What are the quality management principles? Simply put, these are core ideas that guide an organization in building and running a quality management system, or QMS. They help us focus on customer needs, improve processes, and deliver consistent quality. Let's go through the 7 principles and see what they mean in our garment industry context. Customer focus. Understand and meet customer needs, like delivering defect-free garments on time. Leadership. Leaders set direction and build trust. For example, when the factory manager motivates the team to follow quality goals. Engagement of people. Everyone's contribution matters. Operators reporting defects instead of hiding them. Process approach. Managing activities as connected processes, from stitching to finishing to packing in a controlled sequence. Improvement. Always looking for better ways, such as reducing fabric waste through process updates. Evidence-based decision-making. Using facts and data, like adjusting machine settings based on defect data. Relationship management. Working closely with suppliers and customers, for example, choosing fabric suppliers with a strong quality record. Let's quickly go over some simple definitions. A principle is a basic belief or rule we follow. A stakeholder is anyone affected by our work, customers, workers, or suppliers. Engagement means actively involving people in what they do. And evidence refers to real information, data, records, or reports we can rely on. How do these principles help us? Customer focus keeps buyers happy so they return with more orders. Leadership creates a strong quality culture across all levels. Engaged workers are more careful, motivated, and responsible. Managing processes properly reduces variation and mistakes. Continuous improvement makes us more efficient over time. Data-based decisions reduce guesswork and errors. Strong supplier relationships improve material quality and delivery times. Here are some best practices to apply. Set clear quality objectives based on what customers want. Make sure supervisors support teams and solve issues quickly. Train operators and involve them in solving quality problems. Standardize workflows for every department. Encourage staff to share feedback and suggestions. Use data from quality control reports to guide decisions. And work on long-term partnerships with suppliers to keep improving material quality. Summary of Lesson 3. ISO 9001 is built on 7 strong principles. Applying these helps us improve quality, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. And when used in textile and garment factories, they create a culture of excellence and accountability. We hope this session helped you understand the 7 quality management principles. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss our next lessons. See you in Lesson 4, where we'll talk about Clause 4, Context of the Organization. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. Today, we'll be looking into Lesson 4, which focuses on Clause 4, Context of the Organization. This is a critical area that sets the foundation for understanding how your organization's quality management system should align with both internal and external factors. Before we dive into the details, let's take a quick look at our learning objectives for today. By the end of this session, you'll be able to understand what Clause 4 means and why it's important. Recognize the key elements that make up Clause 4. Get familiar with some simple definitions of terms. Understand why Clause 4 is vital in the context of garment manufacturing. Identify best practices for implementing Clause 4 in your own processes. What exactly does Clause 4 mean? Essentially, Clause 4 emphasizes the need for organizations to understand their own environment and the factors that impact their ability to manage quality. To do this effectively, you must recognize both internal and external issues that can influence quality. Identify who the interested parties are, such as your customers, employees, and suppliers. Define the scope of your quality management system. And map out the key processes that drive your operations. Now, let's look at the key elements of Clause 4. Section 4.1. Understand your organization's context by listing external and internal factors that affect your business. For example, currency fluctuations, labor availability, or emerging fashion trends. Section 4.2. Identify the needs of interested parties. This includes anyone affected by your QMS, like buyers, employees, and regulators. Section 4.3. Determine the scope of your QM. Decide which areas of the organization the system will cover, such as the cutting to packing departments. Section 4.4. Map your QMS and its processes. For instance, processes like fabric checking, cutting, stitching, quality checks, and packing should be clearly defined. Let's simplify some of the terms we've mentioned. Context refers to the environment your factory operates in, including internal and external factors. Interested party is anyone who is impacted by or cares about your operations, like customers, workers, or even regulatory bodies. Scope defines what areas your QMS covers. This could be specific departments or processes. Process is essentially a series of actions that turn raw materials into finished products, like turning fabric into garments. Why does Clause 4 matter so much in garment manufacturing? It helps align your quality efforts with the real-world challenges you face every day. It ensures that you are considering the needs of all stakeholders, from customers to employees. It defines clear boundaries and responsibilities within your QMS, so everyone knows what they are accountable for. And it supports better risk identification and planning, making it easier to anticipate challenges before they arise. Here are some practical steps you can take to implement Clause 4 effectively in your organization. Hold a team meeting to list key external and internal issues. Gather your team to identify factors like market trends, resource availability, or regulatory changes that could impact your QMS. Create a stakeholder map. This helps you visualize who depends on your factory, whether it's customers, suppliers, or regulatory bodies, and how their needs affect your quality management system. Use a process map. Map out how fabric moves from the warehouse all the way to the final inspection. This helps ensure that you are managing each step effectively and highlights any areas for improvement. Update your QMS scope as your business evolves. Whenever your organization changes, whether it's adding new departments, expanding facilities, or introducing new products, make sure your QMS scope reflects those changes. This ensures that all new aspects of the business are aligned with your quality management objectives. Summary of Clause 4. You need to understand your business environment, both internal and external. Be clear about who your stakeholders are and what they need. Define the scope of your QMS and what it will cover. Identify your key processes and understand how they all interact to ensure smooth operation. Thank you for joining this session on Clause 4, Context of the Organization. We hope you found it helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you won't miss our next lesson. In Lesson 5, we'll dive into Clause 5, Leadership. See you then. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll talk about Clause 5, Leadership, and why it's so important for a successful quality management system. Learning objectives of Clause 5. What Clause 5 is all about. The key requirements under this clause. Some simple definitions. Why leadership matters in garment manufacturing. And best practices to meet Clause 5 effectively. What is Clause 5 about? Clause 5 focuses on top management's role in leading the quality management system. Leaders need to show commitment to quality. Create and share a clear quality policy. Assign roles and responsibilities. And promote a strong culture of quality across the factory. Here are the key requirements of Clause 5. 5.1 Leadership and Commitment. Top leaders should take part in quality meetings and act on issues. 5.2 Quality Policy. There must be a clear, written quality policy like, we deliver high-quality garments on time. 5.3 Roles and Responsibilities. Everyone's job should be clearly defined. For example, QC officers check stitching, while line leaders report defects. Let's look at some simple definitions. Leadership means setting direction and leading by example. Quality policy is the company's written promise about quality. Responsibility means the task someone is expected to do. Authority is the power to make decisions about that task. Why is leadership so important in garment manufacturing? It motivates employees to take ownership. It makes quality a responsibility for everyone, not just the QC team. It builds customer trust by showing consistency. And it helps solve quality issues quickly and effectively. Here are some best practices for Clause 5. Display the quality policy on the floor and explain it to workers. Hold regular quality meetings with key staff. Make sure everyone knows their role clearly. Lead by example. Managers should follow the same quality rules. And don't forget to recognize and reward good quality performance. Let's quickly summarize Clause 5. Leadership is about taking charge of quality at all levels. Management must create a clear vision and take real actions. Everyone must know their role in quality. And when leadership is strong, a quality-first culture is built. We hope this session helped you understand Clause 5, Leadership. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss the next lesson. See you in Lesson 6, Clause 6, Planning. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll talk about Clause 6, Planning. We'll see why planning isn't just paperwork, but a practical tool to help factories run smoothly and meet customer expectations. Let's look at the learning objectives for Clause 6. Understand what Clause 6 is all about. Learn its key requirements. Go through some simple, easy-to-remember definitions. See why this clause is especially important in garment manufacturing. And finally, explore best practices you can use in your daily work. What is Clause 6 about? Clause 6 ensures that your organization makes a structured plan to identify and address risks and opportunities before they become problems. Set clear, measurable quality objectives that guide improvement. And plan for any changes in processes, technology, or customer needs. In short, it's about being proactive, not just reacting when issues arise. Now let's look at the key requirements of Clause 6. 6.1 Actions to address risks and opportunities. Requires identifying and addressing risks early. Example: a factory may plan for backup fabric suppliers to avoid production delays. 6.2 Quality objectives and planning to achieve them. Organizations must set measurable goals. Example: reducing rework from 8% to 4% within 6 months. 6.3 Planning of changes. Any changes in processes, equipment, or people must be planned carefully. Example: when adding a new cutting machine, training and SOP updates must be included in the plan. Let's simplify some important terms from Clause 6. Risk, something that could go wrong and affect quality. Opportunity, a chance to improve or benefit from change. Quality objective, a clear goal related to quality performance. Change planning, preparing ahead for updates in processes, tools, or responsibilities. Why is Clause 6 especially important in garment manufacturing? It helps avoid unexpected disruptions in production. Supports meeting buyer expectations, even when things change. Encourages regular goal setting and performance tracking. Builds a culture of readiness and continuous improvement. Here are some best practices for applying Clause 6 in your factory. Use a simple risk assessment sheet for each department, like cutting or sewing. Involve line supervisors when setting quality goals. Track objectives using visual dashboards or quality boards. When changes occur, update SOPs and train staff accordingly. Review risks and objectives monthly during quality meetings. Summary of Clause 6. Clause 6 is about planning for success before problems occur. It emphasizes managing risks and opportunities, setting measurable goals, carefully planning changes, and most importantly, it involves every department in driving continuous improvement. Thank you for watching. We hope this session helped you understand Clause 6, planning under ISO 9001-2015. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay updated. See you in Lesson 7, Support. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll focus on Clause 7, Support. This clause is essential because it outlines what an organization needs to successfully implement and maintain its quality management system. Objectives for Clause 7. What Clause 7 is about. The key requirements within Clause 7. Simple definitions of important terms. Why Clause 7 is especially important in garment manufacturing. And best practices you can apply to strengthen support for quality systems. What is Clause 7 about? Clause 7 focuses on providing everything necessary for the quality management system to function effectively. This includes people, equipment, training, communication, documentation, and the working environment. Even the best plans will fail if these essential supports are missing. Key requirements of Clause 7. 7.1 Resources. Ensures that the right people, equipment, and environment are available. Example: purchasing enough fabric inspection tables and hiring skilled operators. 7.2 Competence. Makes sure workers have the right skills and training. Example: training new stitchers before assigning them to complex operations. 7.3 Awareness. Ensures employees understand their roles and impact. Example: quality control staff knowing how their checks affect customer satisfaction. 7.4 Communication. Maintains clear communication internally and externally. Example: daily production meetings and updates from merchandisers to buyers. 7.5 Documented information. Controls documents and records. Example: having up-to-date SOPs and controlled inspection forms for every process. Let's simplify some of the key terms. Resource: anything needed to do the job effectively, like tools, space, or people. Competence: having the right skills, knowledge, and training. Awareness: knowing what your role is and why it's important. Documentation: written records, instructions, or policies used to guide and verify work. Why is Clause 7 important in the garment industry? It ensures that machines, tools, and staff are properly prepared to meet quality standards. It helps prevent errors caused by untrained workers or outdated work instructions. It supports effective communication between planning, production, and quality assurance teams. And it provides documented proof of quality activities, which is critical for audits and customer trust. Here are some best practices for implementing Clause 7 effectively. Maintain a training matrix that shows who is trained on what tasks. Schedule regular skills assessments and refresher training sessions. Post visual SOPs and checklists at each workstation. Use controlled folders for storing official policies, forms, and instructions. Hold daily shift meetings to align teams on targets, issues, and updates. Summary of Clause 7. Your QMS needs strong support from the right people, tools, and working environment. Employees should be both competent and aware of their impact on quality. Communication must be clear and timely. And documentation should be controlled, accessible, and accurate. Thank you for watching this training session on Clause 7, Support under ISO 9001-2015. We hope this helped you understand how critical support systems are to maintaining quality. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay informed. See you next time in Lesson 8, Operation. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we'll be focusing on Clause 8, Operation. This clause is central to ensuring that your daily production activities meet customer and quality requirements. Let's take a look at what you learn in this session. What Clause 8 is all about. The key requirements within this clause. Simple definitions for important terms. Why Clause 8 is critical in garment manufacturing. And best practices you can apply on the production floor. What is Clause 8 about? Clause 8 covers the entire production process from understanding customer needs to delivering the final product. It requires you to clearly understand what the customer wants. Control every stage of the production cycle. Effectively manage suppliers and outsourced services. Prevent mistakes and ensure that products meet expectations. This clause truly represents the core of your factory's daily operations. Key requirements of Clause 8. 8.1 Operational planning and control. Plan and control your processes. Example, create daily production plans and use checklists. 8.2 Requirements for products and services. Understand what the customer expects. Example, review buyer specifications and approve samples. 8.3 Design and development. Applies only if your company designs products. Example, for OEM factories, this may not apply. 8.4 Control of externally provided processes. Manage suppliers and subcontractors. Example, approve washing units and check incoming fabric quality. 8.5 Production and service provision. Control how work is performed. Example, follow stitching SOPs and conduct inline quality checks. 8.6 Release of products and services. Approve items before delivery. Example, final inspections are documented before shipment. 8.7 Control of non-conforming output. Handle and record defects. Example, segregate defective items, log the issue, and apply corrective actions. Let's define some key terms. Operation. Daily work that results in the final product. Outsourced process. Work done outside your factory, such as embroidery or washing. Non-conforming output. A defective product that doesn't meet requirements. Release. Formal approval before sending products to the buyer. Why is Clause 8 especially important in garment manufacturing? It ensures smooth and efficient production. Prevents quality failures or wrong shipments. Maintains a positive reputation with buyers. Ensures traceability and quick response when issues arise. Here are some best practices to implement Clause 8 effectively. Use a production control board to track daily progress. Keep approved specifications and tech packs available at every line. Develop clear supplier approval criteria. Train inline and final inspectors with structured checklists. Clearly label and segregate rejected or rework garments. Maintain a corrective action register to track recurring problems. Summary of Clause 8. Clause 8 is about executing production correctly, every time. Each step must be properly planned, controlled, and monitored. Quality should be built into the process, not just inspected at the end. Both suppliers and non-conforming outputs must be actively managed. Thank you for joining today's session. We hope this lesson helped you understand Clause 8, Operation under ISO 9001-2015. If you found this training helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay informed. See you next time in Lesson 9, Performance Evaluation. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we will focus on Clause 9, Performance Evaluation. This clause is all about how we monitor, measure, and evaluate the effectiveness of our quality management system. In this session, you will learn: what is Clause 9 about? Key requirements of Clause 9. Simple definitions of common terms. Why Clause 9 is important in garment manufacturing. And finally, the best practices you can apply in your factory. What is Clause 9 about? Clause 9 is focused on collecting data and using it to evaluate performance. It helps your factory understand if processes are working properly and if customers are satisfied. The idea is to make decisions based on real evidence, not assumptions. Key requirements of Clause 9. 9.1 Monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation. This is about tracking quality data. For example, record your inline defect rates, customer returns, and on-time delivery performance. 9.2 Internal audit. Conduct regular audits to see if processes follow your QMS. For example, the QA team audits the stitching section and finds SOPs are not being followed. 9.3 Management review. Top management reviews overall QMS performance. For example, a monthly review meeting is held to discuss KPIs, customer complaints, and actions taken. Here are some simple definitions to help you understand key terms in Clause 9. Monitor. Regularly observe or check something. Measure. Collect data or numbers to track progress, like 95% on-time delivery. Audit. A formal check to see if processes are followed properly. Management review. A meeting where senior leaders review QMS performance and make decisions for improvement. Why is Clause 9 important in the garment industry? It helps prevent repeated quality problems by analyzing real data. It shows buyers that your factory takes performance seriously. It helps you understand what's working and what needs fixing. And it creates a culture of accountability, learning, and continuous improvement. Here are some best practices for successfully implementing Clause 9. Use a KPI dashboard to track things like defect percentage, shipment timelines, and customer returns. Train your internal auditors to be fair, objective, and focused on the process. Maintain a formal audit schedule and checklist. Keep records of customer complaints and how they were resolved. Hold management review meetings regularly, either monthly or quarterly. Summary of Clause 9. It ensures you base decisions on actual performance data. Internal audits help verify that your processes align with ISO standards. Management reviews connect leadership with real issues from the shop floor. Overall, it supports continuous improvement in your factory. Thank you for joining today's session. We hope you now have a clear understanding of Clause 9, Performance Evaluation under ISO 9001-2015. If you found this session helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a future lesson. See you in the next session, Clause 10, Improvement. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. In today's session, we will focus on Clause 10, Improvement. In this session, you will learn what Clause 10 is about, the key requirements of Clause 10, some simple definitions, why Clause 10 is important in garment manufacturing, and finally, best practices for applying Clause 10 in your workplace. What is Clause 10 about? Clause 10 is all about progress and problem solving. It requires you to fix problems permanently, not just temporarily. Look for ways to continuously improve your performance. Use customer feedback, audits, and analysis to find improvement areas. Key requirements of Clause 10. 10.1 General. Commit to ongoing improvement. For example, management might set a goal to improve right first time stitching by 10%. 10.2 Non-conformity and corrective action. Fix problems and prevent them from happening again. For example, if a buyer complains about size variation, and the root cause is an incorrect marker, fix that cause. 10.3 Continual improvement. Always look for better ways to work. For example, introducing a new cutting layout to reduce fabric waste. Let's break down some key terms. Non-conformity. A product or process that does not meet requirements. Corrective action. Steps taken to fix the cause of a problem so it doesn't happen again. Continual improvement. Small or big changes that make your factory better over time. Why Clause 10 matters in garment manufacturing. Prevents the same problems from coming back again and again. Encourages a culture of problem solving and innovation. Helps you meet changing buyer expectations and market trends. Keeps your QMS alive and evolving, not just on paper. Best practices for Clause 10. Use root cause analysis tools, like the 5 whys or fishbone diagrams. Keep a corrective action log with responsible persons and deadlines. Train workers to report issues without fear. Reward teams that suggest practical improvements. Review improvements during management meetings. Summary of Clause 10. Clause 10 ensures that your QMS keeps improving over time. Fixing the same problem again and again is a waste. Find the root cause. Encourage all departments to take part in continual improvement. Use audits, data, and feedback to drive better quality and efficiency. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope you now have a clear understanding of Clause 10, Improvement. If you found this session helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a future lesson. See you in the Lesson 11, Implementing ISO 9001-2015 in a Factory. Hello and welcome to the ISO 9001-2015 Awareness Training Program. Today, we are going to focus on a very practical and important topic: how to successfully implement ISO 9001-2015 in a factory setting. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear roadmap you can follow in your own workplace. In this session, you will learn why implementing ISO 9001-2015 is worth the effort, and a step-by-step implementation process from Step 1 to Step 10 that you can apply directly in your factory operations. Key benefits. By implementing ISO 9001-2015, you can increase buyer confidence and become eligible for working with top global brands. You'll run more efficiently, with less rework. Your documentation and traceability will improve, creating a culture of continuous improvement. And in the end, your customers will be happier, with fewer complaints. Step-by-step implementation process. Step 1. Top management commitment. This means appointing a quality management representative, setting a clear quality policy, and making sure every employee understands why ISO matters. If leadership isn't fully behind it, the system won't work. Step 2. Identify gaps. Compare your current practices with ISO 9001-2015 requirements. List what's already in place and what's missing. For example, are you conducting regular internal audits? Is your documentation complete? Step 3. Develop an implementation plan. Once you know the gaps, create a detailed action plan. Include timelines, responsibilities, and milestones. Focus on high-impact areas first: production control, documentation, training, and audits. Form a project team with people from QA, HR, production, and compliance to divide the workload. Step 4. Document the QMS. Now it's time to document your quality management system. Prepare the required documents, like your quality policy, objectives, process flowcharts, and standard operating procedures. Don't forget forms like corrective action reports and customer complaint forms. And remember, keep SOPs simple and visual so operators can follow them easily. Step 5. Train employees. They should understand what ISO 9001-2015 is, their role in the QMS, and the key procedures they need to follow. Make training practical, use visuals, real examples, and language that matches the literacy level of your workforce. Step 6. Implement the system. Now, put your procedures into action on the shop floor. Keep proper records, for example, inspection reports or meeting minutes. Measure performance using KPIs like defect rate, on-time delivery, and right first-time percentage. Step 7. Internal audit. Conduct an internal audit to see if the system is working. Appoint trained auditors who are not from the same department they are auditing. Use checklists based on ISO clauses and your own SOPs. Identify gaps and take corrective actions promptly. Step 8. Management review. Hold a formal management review meeting. Look at customer feedback, audit results, process performance, and opportunities for improvement. This keeps leadership informed and engaged in the process. Step 9. External certification audit. Now comes the external certification audit. Choose a certification body accredited by an international authority. They'll conduct a Stage 1 audit to review your documentation and a Stage 2 audit to check your implementation. If they find any non-conformities, address them immediately. Step 10. Maintain and improve. Finally, maintain and improve your system. Continue with periodic audits, refresher training, monthly KPI reviews, and corrective and preventive actions. ISO is not a one-time project. It's a daily discipline. Implementation timeline example. Here's a sample timeline. Weeks 1 to 2, gap analysis and management commitment. Weeks 3 to 6, documentation and SOP development. Weeks 7 to 9, training and partial rollout. Weeks 10 to 12, full implementation and internal audit. Weeks 13 to 16, certification audit preparation and Stage 1 and 2 audits. Final thoughts. Remember, implementing ISO 9001:2015 is not just about paperwork. It's about building a system that helps your factory produce better products, reduce problems, and keep your buyers satisfied. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope you now have a clear understanding of how to implement ISO 9001:2015 in a factory. If you found this session helpful, please share your feedback so we can make our next training even better.